One of the books that I've wanted to read for quite a long time is this, Leading with a Limp by Dan B. Allender. And I've read a lot of books on leadership, and they're great. I have a lot on my bookshelf that helps to develop the skills that leaders need, especially in the context of pastoral ministry, which is my context. But oftentimes when I've read those books, I've always felt like maybe I just don't have it all together, that I'm missing the mark of that ideal leader, the picture that they're painting. And yet, in reading this book here, Leading with a Limp, I was encouraged because the author here acknowledges that we don't have it all together. In fact, I couldn't help but think as I read through this book of the various pastors and other Christian leaders who have fallen. And not just fallen into sexual sin, but the abuse of leadership that took place, toxic workplaces that were being created within a congregation. And a lot of the stuff that we've seen just in the last couple of years really was warned about in this book, Leading with a Limp. And so I just was really encouraged by this book. And basically what he is saying is that we have to just acknowledge our weakness, which is exactly what the Apostle Paul does in the New Testament. He doesn't present himself as the ideal Christian leader who has it all together and does everything right. He presents his weakness, and when he boasts about his weakness. And in this book here, the author presents a model of leadership that is incredibly honest. And I think part of it has to do with the fact that he is a counselor by profession. At least when he wrote this, he was the president of Mars Hill Graduate School. I believe the name has changed since then. But he is a counselor by trade and is very familiar with people's emotional needs and the forces that are at work that cause us to do what we do. And he's got some very helpful things in here about narcissism and how that affects leaders. And when I read this, I felt like there was hope. There was hope for regular people to be leaders. That doesn't mean it's an excuse for leaders not to try or to lower expectations and lower our goals and basically say, well, good enough is good enough. That's not really what he's trying to say. Rather, he's calling for a sense of honesty with ourselves, but also with those that we lead, that they would see where we are at as well, and to not put ourselves on that pedestal that we are most likely going to fall from anyways. And so there's just some incredible things in this book. And so if you are a leader, a Christian leader, because it's definitely from a Christian perspective, especially a pastor, but I think it would be good for any Christian leader, I would highly recommend this. It really was one of those books, and I don't read many of these, where as I'm reading it, I'm aware that I'm going to have to come back to this and reread this. Not because I didn't understand it, but because there is so much here that I need to soak into my soul to help guide me in my future leadership, because I do want to end well when that time comes. So, again, if you're a pastor, Leading with a Limp, highly recommend it. Thank you, and please visit my website, stephenjbedard.com.